Consummation of Human History, Section 3, The Last Days. 1. Meaning of the Last Days. We've already stated that the three great blessings God granted our human ancestors were not realized centering on God due to the fall of man. Instead, they were realized centering on Satan in the non-principled realm. Human history, though it started in evil, is in fact the providential history of restoration through which God has been working. So the sinful world under satanic dominion will be transformed into the world of good sovereignty. Once the three great blessings centered on God are fulfilled, the age in which the sinful world under satanic sovereignty is transformed into the ideal world of creation under God's sovereignty is called the last days. In other words, the last days means the age in which hell on earth is transformed into the kingdom of heaven on earth. Therefore, this will not be a day of fear, in which many natural calamities will take place, as Christians up to the present have believed, but a day of joy, when the unique hope of mankind, held firmly throughout the long course of history since the creation of the world, will be realized. Since the human fall, God has continued his providence to liquidate the world of sin and restore the world of goodness, having the original nature of creation. Nevertheless, in each case, man failed to carry out his portion of responsibility, thus frustrating the realization of God's will. As a consequence, the Bible apparently indicates that there have been many last days. 1. Noah's day was the last days. Genesis 6:13 states, "I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth," thus indicating that Noah's day was the last days. Why can Noah's day be called the last days? God was going to destroy the corrupt world centered on Satan with the flood judgment after the sinful history of 1600 years, leaving only Noah's family, who believed in God. On the basis of Noah's faith, God intended to restore the ideal world of his sovereignty. Therefore, Noah's day can be called the last days. Due to the corrupt act of Ham, Noah's second son, God's will was nullified, because Noah's family failed to carry out its portion of responsibility on behalf of all mankind. 2. Jesus' day was the last days. God's predestination for his will to attain the purpose of the providence of restoration is an absolute one, which cannot be changed. Therefore, even though his providence of restoration centering on Noah was not accomplished, God called other prophets to lay the foundation of faith. He sent Jesus to destroy the sinful world centered on Satan and restore the ideal world centered on God. So Jesus' day was also the last days. That is why Jesus said that he came as the master of judgment, John 5:22. This is also why Malachi prophesied, "Behold, the day comes burning like an oven, when all the arrogant and all evildoers will be stubble. The day that comes shall burn them up, so that it will leave them neither root nor branch," Malachi 4:1. Jesus came to restore the ideal world in the form intended at the creation. However, due to the disbelief of the faithless people, man's portion of responsibility was left unaccomplished, prolonging the fulfillment of God's will until the time of the Lord's second advent. 3. The day of the Lord's second advent is also the last days. Jesus was ultimately crucified, thus accomplishing only spiritual salvation. He is to attain the purpose of the providence of salvation both in spirit and body after the second advent, fulfilling the restoration of the kingdom of God on earth. Naturally, the day of the Lord's second advent would also be the last days. This is why Jesus said that, "As it was in the days of Noah, so will it be in the days of the Son of Man," Luke 17:26. And also that there would be many natural calamities at the time of the second advent, Matthew 24:29.